Such a powerful little ball. Saturday night, and we're rolling into a Lion's Gate. It's a very, very powerful time right now. And this is a support call for a lot of the people that I'm currently journeying with and people that have purchased the book and the digital course, Waking Up in the Dream. Hey, Sarah, great to see you. And man, is there a lot of energy and stuff coming up right now. People are just being pushed, challenged to the hilt, and tested, and through all sorts of ways of devious manipulation. But what we're going to jump into is we're going to talk about the tools for really moving beyond what may remain as a 3D matrix, but we didn't come here to stay in this, we came here to shift out of it. And so we're going to talk about some really simple tools that if you use them every day, they will shift what you attract into your reality. And the reason why, hey James, great to see you. And a lot of you already know this, but we're just gathering here. And if anybody has any questions, it's a support call. I don't claim to have all the answers, but it usually comes down to asking ourselves the question, what's coming up for us? What is this trying to teach us? What is this trying to show us as we move forward on this journey and step more fully into the gifts and artistry that we came here to share? And so one of the biggest keys that people are being, what would be the word, that those in power are trying to manipulate people into, and it's been this way for a long time, is separation. And the way they do that is through judgment and triggers. And so one of the key elements of the book is a chapter on judgment. Not just a chapter on judgment because it's the biggest addiction on the planet, a chapter on dismantling it and becoming aware of it, and understanding and seeing how the ego gets triggered. Yeah, we all get triggered. I still get triggered. But if we don't catch the trigger, then it's just going to keep, hey Barrett, great to see you, brother. If we don't catch the trigger, it's just going to keep recycling over and over and over again. And since we are magnetic beings, that means that if we're still holding judgmental frequencies as an automatic response, meaning we're discerning every day. We're viewing things, we're deciding what we like, what we don't like, what's good, what may be bad. But a judgment is more like a magnetic attractor reaction. And so many people do it automatically, and because they have a little emotional trigger that goes along with that, either because it triggers their belief system, or it touches on a wound that still hasn't been cleared, then they feel like, well, I'm justified in doing that. Well, that is, I guess it's a justifiable response. The question is, do you want to keep attracting any more of that lower vibrational frequency repeating patterns into your life? And this is the key to eliminate that. I used to be a judgeaholic. I grew up in Catholic school. I was taught to be a judgeaholic. It was judgment day every day. And I thought that's how we fix things, by pointing out everything that was wrong. But what that actually does is, since we're magnetic beings, is that actually attracts more of what we're judging into our vibrating hologram quantum field, i.e. our life. And so this is something that if you're on the path consciously and you're like, yeah, I am here to maintain the highest frequency in my heart, then judgment eliminating judgments is the first place to start, because the whole system is set up to keep people in separation. 3D systems like Republican versus Democrat, White Lives Matter, everything's set up to get people at odds with each other. So judgment is just, it's running rampant right now. And now you've got it so, family doesn't even want to talk to other people unless they've taken the poison, and they haven't even researched what's in it. It's hit an all-time high. So the gift in this is, for those of us that are here to shift into the next higher dimensional frequencies, this is a place to start. So in the book and in the course, I actually have people get themselves a clicker. And they actually begin to track and catch every single judgment, every single less than thought, every single fear, every single doubt, every single triggered reaction or emotional response. What that does is it allows people to see, identify, and more importantly, dismantle decades and decades of automatic reactions, which the ego would have simply justified up until then. This is one of the most life-changing things you can ever do for your frequency and for what you are attracting or repelling into your life. It's completely life-changing. And so that's an invitation, It's an invitation. And just notice what comes up for you when you have a judgment. And I invite you to play a little game and make it fun. And, don't judge yourself and beat yourself up if you catch a judgment. Just go, isn't that interesting? Wow, this is really an automatic program. Isn't it interesting? I can see how people hold on to these flimsy little belief systems of all these beliefs that aren't even theirs. And any information that comes in that challenges that belief system triggers them into judgment or reaction or anger or whatever the triggered response is. And so this is a place to start if you want to clean up your frequency and stop attracting, situations that revolve around judgment, triggers, anger, or just automatic reactions. It's a complete game changer, it really is. And it changed my life. The other thing that's great, and by the way, this is a Q&A, so if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to post them in the comments. It really opens things up for other people, because I can sit here and talk through the whole thing, but a lot of people watch these, a lot of people watch the replays, and some people are afraid to ask questions because they're new to this. They might be new to the awakening process, and they don't want to feel, like they're on the spot. I wouldn't say it takes courage to ask a question, but it really, when you do, there's going to be a bunch of other people that go, oh my God, I'm so glad that they asked that question. So it's completely open here if anybody wants to ask a question. I'll do my best to answer it. It doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but just opening it up creates some opportunities for some things to come into the field. So the second key for moving out of the 3D matrix of repeating low vibrational patterns is to consciously create your day each morning. And you do this first thing while you're still lying in bed, while your head's on the pillow, before all those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running. What I do is, as soon as I realize I've awakened out of what we call the sleeping dream, because we're dreaming all the time, right? The ego doesn't always like that. It's like, I can't control that. I don't know if that's true. I remember when my teacher, my main mentor, Miguel Ruiz, would tell us that at the 3-day dreaming weekends. And I was like, are we really dreaming all the time? It's nothing more than energy and frequencies and thoughts and vibrations, and it's mostly controlled by our thoughts, our words, and the emotion that we put behind it. That's creating our reality and pulling in all these timelines. Think of all these little dots as a timeline. Well, they're not in the future somewhere. They're all here right now. And that's you right there, the big bright star. And all these, anything that you can imagine already exists. It's just a matter of us aligning our frequency with a yes, that it's here now. The abundance, the amazing relationships, the health. And yes, Jennifer, I exercise every day. I get out into nature every day. I eat mindfully. I bless my food. I'm vegetarian now. I didn't used to be my whole life. I mean, I lived in my recording studio for different studios for 20 years, so I probably ate as much fast food, drank as much beer, and partied as much as anybody I know. But I shifted that several years back, and so yeah, I bless my food, I bless my water. I start my morning off with what is it? Baking soda and lime in water. I had some raw cacao this morning, and yeah, so great question. Yeah, I bless everything. There's so many fruits and vegetables here where I live in Thailand, so it's a real blessing. Yeah. So, try it little by little, see what works for you, but when I figured out the process animals went through and the chemicals, and it's just not for me anymore. I didn't know when I was younger. So yeah, consciously creating your reality. And then the people that I journey with every month, and in the book, in the digital course, the invitation for those that really want to create great lasting shifts in their life is to set alarms on your phone. I set alarms that go off at 9:33, 10:44, 11:22, 12:12, whatever. I like to play with the numbers. And every time one of those alarms goes off on my phone, I stop and I do the same process that I did in the morning. I smile, I breathe in, I love in every cell of my body, which raises my frequency. And then I ask myself, where are you right now? Meaning, where is my frequency? What am I magnetizing into my reality right now? Am I in gratitude? Am I being playful? Or am I stressed? Am I in fear? Am I, in judgment? And I check in, I check in, I check in. Because conscious awareness is the only game in town. It is what is creating every single thing that we magnetize into our lives, our relationships, our reality. Nobody's doing it to you. It's not random. It's you doing it to you. And if you're willing to accept that responsibility and put these tools into practice, then you will start to see magic shifts and synchronicities happen every single day. Because it's not by chance, it's law. It's the law of frequency and vibration. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, nobody taught me how to do that. I mean, I guess I put it together from watching a lot of different videos about, where frequency and vibration and everything, but self-love, that's one of the things when I take people through the Waking Up in the Dream 30-day transformation, one of the things that I noticed, especially with men, is they have a resistance to looking in the mirror and going, I love you, I love you. Because what usually happens is the judge comes in and it does stuff like, whoops, it finds all the things, I don't like your glasses, your hair's getting gray, or, it points out the things that aren't perfect. And that was all created by the manipulation of the television and advertising. So that you'll never be happy and content with yourself. So that they can sell you shit that you don't need. So I unplugged from that a long time ago. I can see that deception a mile away. So one of the keys is when you set those alarms on your phone, and you can listen to this right now and go, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But if you don't pick up your phone and set those alarms on there. I mean, this is priceless stuff. This is life-changing tools that I did not read in a lot of the spiritual books that I picked up. I mean, it might have been in there, your thoughts create your reality, but this is a system that works. It works. And if you're, running around going, I wish things would shift and, I hope things get better. Hope, which is one of the weakest words in the spelling language, it's a spell. Hope, wish, want, try, need. Those are all weak-ass spells. Why? Because they tell the subconscious that it's not here yet. And your subconscious only knows how to create and manifest direct commands that it sees is here right now. That might be worth saying again. The subconscious, which is creating your reality based on either your direct commands or old programs, wounds, trauma that still hasn't been healed or cleared, it only knows how to take direct commands. So you must give it the command. So in the morning, I'm lying in bed, I'm loving all over my cells, and I'm like, what an incredible day. I'm just surrounded and magnetizing in abundance the most incredible people all over the planet. Animals, nature, magic, miracles. And it's not even magic and miracles, it's the law. It's the law of my vibration, pulling that stuff in, our vibration. And if you will practice this every day, nothing more will change your life than what I'm sharing with you right now. And if you know something more, then post it in the comments. But I journey with people every month on this, and I've been doing it for a long, long time. And I've found nothing that works faster and is more powerful than using these tools. So, consciously creating your reality while you're laying in bed in the morning, loving on your cells to ramp up your vibration, which ramps up your magnet, the attractor, and catching yourself when you have a judgment or a trigger or a reaction that doesn't come from love, joy, or excitement, my favorite word, the highest magnetic frequency. Little kids are excited. When they create, they're excited. They have an unlimited imagination until it gets squashed in the school system. And so there's a lot of programs out there to keep you distracted. No more so than right now. Right now we're trying to steal your soul and alter your DNA. And so super, super key to align with like-minded people, to be compassionate for other people that may not see things the way we see them. The programs are deep. Have compassion for people. It doesn't do us any good to just judge them and tell them, call them sheep or whatever. I used to do that too. Excitement is the key. It's the highest magnetic frequency, or certainly one of them. Gratitude is another. Generosity. So you want to start magnetizing magic, more abundance, miracles into your life, get excited. Do what you love. Start to call it in. Start to see it. It's already here. I'm telling you, it works. Okay. Find things to be grateful for throughout the day. I talk to the plants. I talk to the flowers. I'm in Thailand. It's one of the most lush countries I've ever been in my life. All year round, there's constantly orchids and dragonflies and purple buds and yellow lotuses, and it's just wherever there's not concrete, there's Mother Earth is just showering and pushing love out in every moment. And when you start to speak to what is basically you, those flowers are there for me. They're not there for anybody else. When you start to notice that stuff and pay attention to that, more of that starts to show up in your reality. And when you play with this, give it a good month or more, you'll be like, oh my God, why don't they teach this in school? This is really what they should have taught. Instead of teaching you what to think, they should have taught you how to think. But then they wouldn't be able to control and manipulate you. Okay? So, any questions? Here's a good one. Jennifer, bless your body, bless your food. Bless the water when it's coming out of your shower. Envision that. You know how magical it is that there's water piped into your house and all you have to do is turn a little thing and it comes out? You don't have to walk like 22 miles in the desert to go down, to a stream to wash yourself off once every 2 weeks after you're stinking so bad that the flies are all over you. I mean, it's a blessing. This water is magic. It's what, 86% of our body is composed of. It is alive. It is consciously aware, just like the cells in our body. So talking to it is really, really key. Envisioning that water coming out of your shower is cleansing, blessing, raising the frequency of every one of your cells, and you're in gratitude while you're in there. This all just becomes a flow for your entire day. And you can feel yourself if you come out of it. If you get triggered and you go into judgment, you train yourself. You can just feel it. Use this clicker for 30 days, and you'll never be the same person, ever. You will never go back to those old programs. But you've got to, hey, Esther, great to see you. Big love to you. You've got to interrupt these automatic programs, though, at first, or they'll just continue to run. And this is the way to do it. So if anybody's interested in diving into it, there's a half-price link for the book. All you have to do is go to portaltoawakening.com. That's all you have to remember. You don't have to remember the link. When you go to the website, the book, the course, and the opportunity to journey with me every month is there. And I journey with only 4 people every month because we go deep and we're in contact at least every other day. And it's one of the deepest dives you'll ever do, but it's easy and it's fun. And if that's something you're interested in doing, there's a link down there too. I've got 2 spots open for August right now. So let's get back to this. Lionsgate portal. We're in it. You may feel it, you may not, but we are being bombarded with new energies that are coming into the planet. This is good news, even if it's uncomfortable, because nobody wants to do more lifetimes of just recycling this same old crap with these same old programs, with these same old systems of deception, law, medical, history, science, fake food, frankenfood, fake medical. It's just not happening anymore. So we are here for the shift. We are in it. It's happening right now. And we came here for this. So getting excited is super key. Super key. So yeah, calling in and expecting these synchronicities. The more you do it, the more you're going to start seeing them. The more you play with this every day, the more you're going to start seeing. You're doing it. You can either go, wow, I hope my life gets better. I hope I make money. Hope, hope, hope. Hope is weak. You are an unlimited divine master creator. You were just not taught that you were because they didn't want you to know that. It's time to step into it. This is why we're here. If you're watching this and you're on the planet, this is why you're here. May this message reach deep inside you and trigger something that gets you maybe a little bit more curious, maybe a little bit more excited, maybe a little bit more interested in using these tools. I've got a whole YouTube channel with video after video where I share these tools. I don't hold back on anything. I share everything on these calls. The reason why the one-on-one course is so powerful and life-changing is because I go right into people's wounds and people's stories, and I hear their self-talk, and I just go in and I dismantle it because I've been doing it for so long. I'm good at it. It took me a long time to say that because, people want to attack you if you say you're good at doing something. If it triggers them. That's okay. It's cool. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to pop them in. That's all I really had to share. It's 10:10, of course. Any questions about anything coming up? Not really 3D matrixy shit, but if it's about, programming and thought process and healing and creating your reality, then, feel free to pop it in. So once again, take anything away from this. Begin to catch your judgments. Greatest question to ever ask yourself. Greatest question to ever ask yourself. When you have any judgment, any negative reaction, or any trigger, is stop and take a breath. Don't let the story run about how they did something or did. That's just the ego. It's going to feed on that forever. It'll feed on that for decades and decades and decades. The same story. Ask yourself this life-changing question. What is this trying to show me or teach me about me? It's never about the other person, ever. Unless they're physically assaulting you, then get out of the situation. But I'm talking about words. I'm talking about triggers. I'm talking about judgmental reactions. It's an addiction. We were taught to do that. We were taught to be judgmental. If you did nothing more than decide to catch all your judgments and triggers and ask yourself this question, what is this trying to teach me about me? It would change everything in your life and your relationships. Guaranteed. I see it happen every month. Because it shifts your internal frequency, which is attracting everything. I don't attract negative people into my life. I don't attract people into my life that come and attack me. I don't know. I see other people that are like, well, when I speak my truth, people attack me. I'm like, well, once in a while somebody gets triggered and, bashes out. I don't take it personally. It's their stuff. It just bounces off me. And if they want to ask me a question, with any type of respect, I'm happy to have an open dialogue with them where we can share information. But the key is to remove these triggers. How was my ashwagandha experience? It's actually ayahuasca, and the experience was amazing. We did 3 nights here at the retreat center. Where I live in northern Thailand. We're just outside of Chiang Mai, which is a digital nomad capital in northern Thailand. And we've got another ayahuasca ceremony coming up next weekend. Yeah. So okay, if nobody has any questions, one thing we can do for the people that are on here, we can blast out some heart frequency and intentions. Play the flute here. Oops. So if you just want to give your body some love, tune into it, for everything that it's done for you every single day since you've been in the womb. It's been unconditionally loving you. And then when you really feel like you've given this wonderful love and gratitude to your body, and just imagine your heart opening and imagine that love going out and going all around the globe and affecting anybody that needs some upliftment right now or some healing or something like that. And thanks for being on this call. And thanks to everybody that shares this with anybody else that could use some upliftment or could use some like-minded people. It's really key right now. There's a lot of people that are feeling alone. There's a lot of people that feel like they're awake and their whole family or friends are asleep. And that's got to be a really tough situation. I'm surrounded by people that are awake and really kind of in leadership positions. but not everybody is. So thank you, everybody, for holding the space that you hold. And yeah, so let's give our bodies some love and the rest of the planet. Send it out to the planet. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for showing up the way you do. Do your best to begin your day with the tools I shared. If you need to go back and watch this and write them down, they're very valuable. Stay in your hearts. Remember, your thoughts and your words and the emotion you put behind that are creating your reality. Many blessings.